attitude. Look at verse 28. Look at he wants to do something. He wants to do it. Remember we said the title of the book was, and is, If You Want to Walk on Water, You Got to Get Out of the Boat. That's the name of the book, correct? But look carefully. Even though Peter wanted to get out of the boat, he dared not try until he got permission. Hear me now. Just because you and I may want to get out of the boat. Just because you and I may want to walk the water, you don't just get out the boat. Because if you and me want to do something and we just go on and do it without making a request to God, we're going to drown. Except the Lord build the house, they that build it labor in vain. Build the house is symbolic of whatever it is that you and I may attempt to do. Just wanting to do it ain't enough. Look again at the text. Peter said, after he learned that it was Jesus, bid me, command me. Look at the text, look at the verse. Lord, if it is you, command me, bid me to come to you on the water. In other words, Lord, I want to do this. And this is an unusual request. I ain't never seen this. I ain't never tried this. I have never done this. But if you command me to do it, I know you are able to enable me to do it, and I will. Gilt eggs, we are on the brink of wanting to get out the boat. And we wanted to get out of the boat a long time. But until your pastor heard the same thing that Peter heard, I was overly cautious before I said, step out. So he said in verse 29, come. That was all Peter needed. Come. Peter's request left the walking on the water entirely on the Lord. And all he was going to do was comply with Jesus' wishes. Come. Come. It is out of Peter's hands now. It's totally in Jesus' hands. Come. 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 Christ approved the request. Come. Come was Christ's invitation to Peter to do the impossible. Peter did not whine. He did not pout. He did not insist upon doing something Christ had forbidden. Peter asked only once, bid me, if it is you, bid me come. And Jesus said, come. It was completely submitted to the will of Christ. Then after Peter walked a short way on the water, he began to sink. And he had to be rescued by Christ. After the rescue, Christ rebuked Peter. Listen at that. Somebody hear that real good. After Christ rescued him, then he rebuked him. Rescue, then rebuke. Listen up. That's the formula. Rescue. Some of us dog folk while they still down. Pick them up first. And if you got anything to rebuke about, let it be constructive rebuke. Nobody needs to be reminded that they are nothing and nobody from nowhere. If that's the case, they already know that. What I need you to tell me is, how does this nothing of a nobody from nowhere can be something to somebody somewhere? If you can't help me, leave me alone. Matter of fact, I don't even want you to rescue me. I'm already suffering. Then you gonna pretend like you want to help me. Then you give me a hand and then kick me back down. I don't need that. So Christ rescued Peter first. Then he rebuked him, grabbed him by the hand, lifted him back up. Then he said, "Oh, you of little faith, why did you doubt?" Now let's look at that just for a moment. Christ did not, listen, Christ did not rebuke Peter for walking on the water. He didn't rebuke him for that. He never said that was a ridiculous request. He never rebuked him for that. But he rebuked him for failing in his walk on the water. In other words, Jesus was saying to him, you never should have sank. You started off good, Peter. I gave you my permission. Listen at this. He was rebuked not for stepping on the water, but he was rebuked for sinking in the water. The mission was not supposed to fail. If Peter's faith had not failed, he would not have sunk. A desire to walk on the water, Gilt edge. A desire to walk on the water, my brother, my sister. A desire to walk on the water is an act of faith, not folly. When Christ bid him come, Peter walked on the water to go to Jesus.